Hey guys, welcome back for another little episode here today. Today we're going to talk about my tractor. It's a 1964 Ford 2000. It's basically one step up above an 8N, pretty much. Now this tractor was my grandfather's, and he recently gave it to me because he was unable to he basically just can't move around and needs help taken care of, and he moved in with my parents and he gave me this to work my place. And it has done a magnificent job for what it is. It's really a small utility tractor. It can't do the work of a diesel, but it does have other benefits. Like for once, my dad had a Maggie Ferguson 231 diesel, and it always got stuck out in the back. I don't know if you guys can see my place here. I'll show a little bit of it, but back there, way in the back, all that back there. It's really, when it gets wet, it gets really soggy, and it doesn't take long before a diesel tractor will sink. This tractor will go through the mud and anything, and I have never had a problem with it sinking. So we're not saying that it's not possible, but this is real light, and that is a real plus in this little area I live in right now. So that's a good plus for me, because other than this diesel truck I got over here, I got nothing to get a diesel tractor out of the mud being stuck. Usually I just have to take a come along and go at it. Now, I've upgraded this thing since I've owned it, only because it was just so wore down. My grandfather, he got to the point where he didn't want to put no money into it. It was just plumb wore down. So I'm going to show you some of the options that I put on it, so that if you're thinking about doing the same thing to your tractor or whatever, you'll get a little heads up. Alright, so let's talk about, I put an alternator on this. Originally, this thing came with a 6-volt system, which I still have the original 6-volt system, which reminds me, you can see all of it in there. The generator and some gauges I had to replace, and there's a regulator, yep, right there, and some brackets for the generator. Now this kit cost me, oh wait, when I was talking about, always keep your old parts. You never know when you might need them, or someone else who wants to restore the tractor to original will want the original parts. So always keep your original parts. But anyway, this alternator right here, I don't remember the output of whatever it is. It's more than what this tractor needs, that's for sure. I think it was $124, and it came with everything but the battery. It came with the bracket, this brace, a whole new wiring harness, which was a big deal because mine was kind of falling apart and everything. So this wiring harness it's really easy to replace. It didn't take no time at all. Also, if you notice here, I have 5 fan blades. That's actually a little upgrade mod. The original of these Ford tractors had 3. And I actually recommend the 5 because it gets more coolant and it never gets overheated. It does pretty good and everything. Although I had to go through quite a few fans, but you have to be careful when you buy these, because sometimes the pattern's a little bit off from tractor to tractor, and it took a little bit to find the right, because I think I had to send one back because the whole pattern did not match, and I finally got one that matched. But I definitely recommend the 5 bladed fan. Now also, when I put this alternator in here, I had a problem. The exhaust, now I probably could have had the exhaust guy run, but it was already where the generator here, the exhaust got flattened right in through here. But if I can show pictures, I will. I'll try to put some pictures on this video if I can get some editing software. But anyway, I'll try to explain it. What happens when I went to go tighten up the thing, the exhaust ran right into it. All right, so I came up with this solution. As you can see, I've run into things and bent it a little bit, which is kind of not so great. I had to bend it back out, so I'm going to have to come up with something better in the future than that, or at least put a better brace in it to withstand the brushes, because it doesn't take much and this thing will bend. In fact, I had a flapper on here, and you can see they only welded it here in one spot. Fantastic. Broke right off after a while, but I'm going to weld that back on here probably soon. and everything. Okay, let's see. What else have I done to this tractor that would have been considered upgrades? Other than the little few accessories, I did put some new gauges in here because they were non-working. This is something my grandfather added on. He believed in having an amp gauge, so I couldn't tell you how many hours on this tractor. He didn't really care about hours to him. So I think that's really all that I've done, other than I'm going to put on some 12-volt lights on this thing so I can see it operating at night. And I need to get my bumper put back on, which leads me to the other thing what happened to this tractor, which was quite hilarious. I don't know if you can notice in here, but you'll probably notice some different color blues on here on this little housing and this front axle here. What happened is that I had the old one break in half. That was interesting, and this little housing here was damaged a little bit. I decided to go with buying a used one. You can see it's damaged there and probably damaged over here. I could have welded it up, but I found one for about 30-40 bucks, free shipping or something like that, and it was, I said, heck, I can have it here in a few days and put a new one on here. Or actually, it was kind of used, but it was in perfect shape. And unfortunately, when my axle split, it bent my bumper. It doesn't look like it, but when you put it on, it actually put on one side. The other side is like 6 inches higher than the other one. So I'll have to either fab my own bumper or repair that one and everything. But I keep those around for just a good story. Or my brother was going to practice welding and casting, but he hasn't come through on that yet. But this was brand new, so I was able to get a hold of this brand spanking new. And I can go on forever with stories of why it broke and everything. I just know when it broke a lot of stuff. And this tractor was down for like a month trying to find parts. That is the bad thing about these tractors. Parts are kind of hard. The 8N is probably a lot easier to find parts on than these. You could probably find a cross reference between like Jubilees or some other ones I'm not really super familiar with, but the Jubilees do look different. I don't remember the difference between these and that. If someone knows the difference, then feel free to comment or enlighten me. That'd be great. Also, if any of you guys are Ford tractor buffs and can explain to me why the original paint job here is yellow, I would sure love to know. I'm assuming this was maybe some construction or company or tractor or something at one time, because I do know it was repainted before my grandfather got it and everything. So if any of y'all know, please feel free to comment and enlighten me. I'd like to know personally myself. And overall, this tractor hasn't been, once I got all the kinks and bugs worked out of it, it's been a great tractor. Although it's coming to the point where I'm going to have to do an engine overhaul. It's 53 years old. It's had a top end rebuilt before, but I think it needs a complete overhaul. The compression level is getting down to the minimum spec level. But I'm going to keep chugging along until she finally quits, and then I'll rebuild her and everything. I'm going to put her to work. That's what I got her for. So, okay guys, we're going to wrap this video up here. My final thoughts on this tractor, or these size of tractors, are they're perfect if you plan on mowing and doing some light work around the place. And if you can't beat a diesel tractor in work. A diesel tractor will work and it does pretty good. And the only thing I'm going to say that I wish this tractor had, or the next tractor I get, is have a front end loader. I honestly believe a front end loader is fantastic, wonderful, and it comes in handy more than you think. I actually got a shipment of tile in the other day to tile my living room, and it could have come in handy. Luckily, my neighbor had one. I was able to talk him into letting me borrow it, or him coming down here and unloading it for us and putting it in my shed, because I did not want to carry that tile one by one to my shed. But that would be the only thing I wish I had, was a front end loader. But other than that, this tractor is suit my needs. It doesn't cost too much to operate if it's properly maintained and everything. And if you guys have any other questions about these tractors or any other mods or anything I've tried, please feel free to comment. There will be some other mods. I'm not going to get too crazy with my tractor. This is just my tractor. The only thing left to do on it, since all the gauges work now, is put some lights and a bumper on it, and fix my little flapper there. And I think I'll call it done. Well, fix that pipe too. Call it done. So, but if you guys have any other ideas or anything you guys have tried and want to share, feel free to leave them in the comment box. I'd love to see what you guys have done. Maybe I might copy one of you guys' ideas and use it on my tractor here. Oh, one last thing here. Oops, I hit the pause button by mistake. I'd like to show you guys. I did add these onto the tractor, and I'd like to share them. Me and my brother made these. We come up with these chain guards. You might not be able to see them. They're just a piece of angle iron with some chain on it. I had a real bad problem with this mower deck. Yes, King Cutter, I'm talking about y'all. About rocks hitting me, or stump, or limbs and everything hit me in the back of the head. Almost about knocked me unconscious, some of them. I honestly believe they should come standard. I put some on the front and the back. You can probably see a better look at the back ones. Yeah, did that to help keep it because I had the neighbor next door complain that my tractor threw something at her window and broke it. Oh, that was an ongoing feud for a while. But definitely, if you're gonna have a mower deck, definitely put some chains on it. It'll definitely. I think I've only been hit once in the leg and it didn't even hurt. I just barely brushed it and it just deflects it. So I would highly recommend putting some chain guards on your tractor. If you want to make some and everything, it's nothing to it. It's just, I think, either a 2x2 or whatever. And then I just got the chain from Harbor Freight. Took a grinder, grinded them off and just welded them. I think about every 1.5 or inch. Not too far. But if you guys are interested in that, I can make a video on how to make that or how I made it. If you guys are interested in that. Alright, this time I'm going to wrap it up. Those are my thoughts on these tractors. If you guys want to share yours or tell me some more about y'all's, what you guys have, or if you're having even problems with some of your tractor and need some help, maybe I'll be willing to give you guys any helping hand here because I have a little bit of experience about these tractors and I know some of the common places and everything. So that'll be it for today. Until next time, guys.